Hello, fellow foreigners. We are Emily and Peter. We're not here. We're living in China, not trying to discover it. And isn't it just insane how much every day we say, like, we're not going to talk about it anymore. And then the disease keeps going. No matter what we do, we can't stop it. Every day we try to stop it from this room with all these, this studio of amazing equipment and quality that we don't ask you to pay for at all. Just subscribe. Just give us a little subscribing, a little bit of liking. We're here for you people. It's Paul, part of community.
Who's Paul?
Paul is part of your community.
Oh, he's great.
Peter, Paul, Mary, you know, all
the folk bands.
Yeah.
All the folk singers.
And your favorite Chinese neighbors.
Yeah, the Peter, Paul, and Mary who live next door in China. Yeah, I mean, we do keep saying we're not going to talk anymore about coronavirus because we have other stuff we want to goof on. Not that we're goofing on coronavirus, although we kind of are.
Yeah, we try.
But what drives me, the fire in my heart, is that no one is asking me, but I have all the answers.
I know, you keep telling me.
My answer today is about community. We're going to do some vocabulary words today and a little bit of theoretical math. No numbers, but math. So strap in.
Hit me some theory.
Get your number 2 pencil ready. But no, I think something that is hitting me, I don't know why it just like so naturally happened that I feel at no point in this crisis, the coronavirus quarantine, in case we didn't actually say that yet, did I feel like unsafe. At the beginning I felt scared because I didn't know what was going to happen, but like we know our neighbors and we have good relationships with our neighbors, we have good interactions with them, and like at the whole time it felt like a community pulling together, and at no time did I ever like suspect that so and so was going to break the regulation and so was going to go out without a mask. Like I was very confident that everyone was going to comply with whatever the government said to do, and not because it's an authoritarian government. I mean, there's some of that, but also because like it's the right thing to do, to participate in this quarantine community, to follow the rules because you're not better than the rules. And even when I was unsure, like if the quarantine was necessary, I wasn't trying to go out extra. I was like. We're trying this to see if it works, so I'll participate. And that, and our observation, our faraway observation of what's happening elsewhere in the world, specifically, again, America, we're going to come down on you. But it doesn't seem like that. It seems like that's the problem, is that you can't trust your neighbors to comply with the quarantine. And if you can't trust your neighbors, why would you? You're a chump if you cooperate. And I mean that's what the feeling I get from like panic buying toilet paper. And maybe is that a news story? You can and not like your reality. You can tell me in the comments. Americans, for the first time, I want to hear from you, I guess.
For the first time, we're reaching out to America.
Yeah.
I was calling it the triangle of stupid. If I'm standing on 34th Street like I have in the past,
yeah,
and there's a guy
everyone
standing
has.
next to me, and another guy walks past and does something stupid, and that guy turns to me, the other guy, and says, "Boy, that guy is stupid." And I'm looking at this guy thinking like, "Are you stupid? How do you know I'm not stupid?" I instantly think that person's stupid because he's telling me that the stupid guy is walking. So the triangle of stupid is
it's
just
like the opposite of a trusting society.
It's hard not to be part of that, but like, I mean, how am I supposed to not trust you to buy all? Are you going to give me any toilet paper if you buy all the toilet paper? Now I got to go over to your house. I mean, this is just like every disaster scenario of like, oh, maybe I'll cook you some beans if you give me the rest of the toilet paper that you sort of stole from me in the first place. And then
we've started a quaint barter community.
Yeah, I mean, that would be nice, actually.
Yeah, communities participating.
But that's not how the movies work. The movies work like there's some czar of toilet paper becomes the king of the block.
Yeah, and then like that czar will be Sawyer from Lost, and he was a jerk. He was such a handsome jerk.
Handsome jerk.
Some handsome jerk is gonna hoard all your medicine and be gross about handing it out. Yeah, so that's what I imagine is happening in America right
That's all we can. It's got to be the truth.
And I will have to admit here, I did panic buy extra toilet paper at the beginning of this, which meant I bought 2 sleeves when I would have normally bought 1. Because if you need 3 months worth of toilet paper, what do you think has happened to the world?
Well, I mean,
again, let us know in the comments what you're prepping for.
We've been like trapped in the whole time that we've been in, and we're still in.
Yeah,
I mean, we can go out. We've been able to go out the whole time.
I just saw a banner today. I mean, I was out, but it said like today's joyous sloppy gathering is tomorrow's stay in the sick room.
I'm not sure what that means, but yeah, I'm sort of in and sort of terrified.
Yeah, and I don't know if this has been living in China too long, but like I'm really into propaganda. Like I think, and the U.S. does it too, like the soft power of the 60s against the Cold War of like making America look really cool to convince Russians that democracy was better. I think that's like a key part of national strategy is to have like a good entertainment / propaganda wing.
Captain America.
Yeah, we respond to stories.
Captain.
And so tell the stories you want your populace to participate in. I mean, it helps if they're true.
What I was going to say is like
the moral thing to do is make them true stories.
That we've been in here and people were guessing as to what's going over here. Like we're all spent the last month and a half eating bats and attacking our neighbors or something like that.
No one's eating bats, by the way. Stop being so freaking racist.
That from our standpoint, we're getting all the same news, but like all I can see is that all my friends, family, neighbors, and anything on the news is that there's fist fights in the toilet paper stores.
Yeah, and that's kind of what occasioned this discussion today. We weren't really planning on having one. We haven't
We've never planned on it.
Except we just get going on something.
But like, I mean, this is what
reading these stories reflects the idea that you do not have faith in your neighbors to like participate in a lawful society and getting through this crisis.
And
is that what's happening?
This is what you look like from the outside. This is what we look like. This is what we look like as Americans in China.
Yeah.
We get questions that are like, so you always like that?
Yeah.
Like,
well, no one's asked us that.
Well, no.
They're like, you're still here.
Hypothetically online.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, our neighbors are like, you didn't leave?
Yeah. What are you still doing here? But what we were saying that here, everyone they went inside. Mm-hmm. We didn't think our neighbors were going to. No one hoarded.
No one hoarded. The grocery store was full of produce every day. Mm-hmm. People waited in lines. There was no one like being a jerk about anything. I mean, I think countrywide that it wasn't no one, but like. And this is, I'm not suggesting
you can't say the entire billions of people.
You got arrested for breaking curfew, or I don't know if we had a curfew. You got arrested for breaking the quarantine. You got arrested for doing stuff that was not recommended.
You're saying that neighbors would be upset with other people that were breaking.
Oh yeah, we did have a case. There was a family of 4 in the Luzhou greater city area in Luxian. That hid. They had been to Wuhan, and in fact, one of the people had gone to the doctor for a cold early on, and did not disclose that she had been in Wuhan, so they did not track her. But then it turned out that they had coronavirus, and people were furious that they hid. Those are our last 4 cases, actually, of coronavirus. That people were so angry that
the last straw.
Yeah, and it is like. I understand the mindset of why you would want to hide, because it's scary to go to the hospital or to get quarantined, but like people were not understanding about the fact that these people
because everyone was trusting that you could depend on the person next to you, and that's one of the scary things. I mean, it's just embarrassing to be. This is our home.
Yeah.
This is what we look like to people outside of our home.
Yeah.
As we don't trust, because, I mean, I would be worried that our neighbors would be afraid of.
Wouldn't trust us.
Yeah, didn't trust us, that we're gonna come next door and steal all their toilet paper, because those dirty Americans have dirty butts.
Right, and our neighbors we have friendly relationships with all of them.
Yeah,
I don't think they were like
really.
suspicious of us specifically, but that's a possibility. But I want to get into painless mathy part real quick, and a vocab phrase, new phrase, flatten the curve. Why is it important to comply if only 20% of cases need treatment? Is because 20% of a bajillion, which is technically how fast this disease spreads, bajillion per day.
I love those numbers.
So 20% of a high number is still a lot, and is going to overwhelm the healthcare system. And so I got another one here. CFR is case fatality rate. The case fatality rate is variable. I see a lot of people throw around the 2% number, which I think is like the average of what we know from China and then other cases around the world. But within China, I can tell you from checking the numbers every day, the death rate was like, at the peak was like 4% in Wuhan, and it was 0.6% outside of Hebei province. The case fatality rate is very variable, and one of the things it depends on is adequate access to healthcare. And so if the hospitals are swamped in the United States, that's when your case fatality rate goes up. So that's why it's important. You gotta slow down the spread. We gotta, if we're accepting that inevitably between 60 and 80% of the world population will catch this, if we can spread that out over time instead of in one giant spike that everyone's sick, the hospitals will be better equipped to deal with that. So those are my two.
That's your rant.
That's my rant. That's my education. But it is important. It makes a huge difference. If hospitals can't treat sick people, that's when people are gonna die that would not have died. So that's you gotta. But that's also like watching this from far away. Peter and I have been talking a lot about cognitive dissonance, which is a phrase that gets tossed at Chinese people a lot, actually, in a derogatory way. So I'm gonna come clean. I have my own cognitive.
Just give us a quick. What does that mean?
So cognitive dissonance is when you hold two contradictory ideas in your head at the same time and believe both of them to be true. Like 2 + 2 is 4 and 2 + 2 is 5, believing that both of those are correct. And it's not about math. It's not, like, people don't believe mathematical things. It's like the idea of, well, I'll give you my cognitive dissonance. This is what I want to get to, is that, God, I hate people. I just can't. Everyone's the worst. But also, America is an awesome country. We do kick-ass things. We make great discoveries. We have amazing thinkers. We've created amazing art for the rest of the world to enjoy. Jazz.
Comic books.
Yeah. And
Hollywood.
look, our movies are like the best, and our TV is really great. God, other countries' TV is not that good. But also people are the worst. And I equally believe both things are true. And so that's where, like, if you're starting to feel like, hey, you're picking on America, lay off. It's because I think America could be, I don't even want to say GREAT, because a
lot of great things are going to happen.
That word belongs to someone else now. But America is tremendous.
Tremendous, is it?
America is an awesome country. I'll say that. And I want you guys to be okay. I want you to get through this. I want you to come through this trusting each other and supporting each other and loving each other. Well, I don't know. Maybe not loving each other. It's a tall order. But like
in an adult way.
Take care of each other, because you're my homeland. I don't have any plans to live there anytime soon, but it's like, that's part of me, and being an expat doesn't take that away from me.
I think there's a lot of discussion in expat groups that once you leave your country, you realize how much you love your country, and some people that's what makes you come back, like at however long that you're back in your stay. For me personally, I have no desire to go back, but that doesn't mean I dislike it anymore. Like I like China. I like America. I dislike parts of both those things. That's human nature. like choosing team whatever is it's a
and it's the same kind of heartbreak as being classified as not a real American, that to see like communities behave in ways that you didn't think were American. It's not the American way to be so selfish. But also Americans are so selfish. That's my cognitive dissonance for you. So that's why specifically the American response is something that like we get into, Peter and I.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't go back and we're not going back, but
it's hard to go back at this point when I don't know if brother could spare a square.
Yeah, I'm not going back if you don't have any toilet paper. We have plenty of toilet paper.
So much.
Some of you should come here. No, stay where you are. Stop. Stop traveling. Stop going to stuff. Stop hanging out in large groups. A big loud party today is locked in the sick room tomorrow. But eat all the noodles you can while you have them. But share the noodles with your neighbor.
You're all over the place.
I feel all over the place. Noodles to you.